What's going on everyone? Anthony here with HD Toys and welcome back to another video. And in today's video we are going to be reviewing Mattel's Masters of the Universe Revelations Skelegod. Now, fair warning, this is possible spoilers, obviously because the show doesn't release up until, what is it, July something or other, next month. So we are still over a month away from the actual release date of the show. So everything in this review is probably spoilers. So if you want to avoid that, go ahead and click off and watch one of my many other videos. But if you don't care, what do you say we go ahead and get into this review? So obviously, first off, this is Skelegod, and I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but just from the looks of it, it looks like Skeletor finally gets his hands on He-Man's powers. Obviously, you have the H right there, the power sword. Very, very bulky version. But other than that, the box is fairly new design for them. It has this weird little angle going on up here. Some artwork of Skelegod on the side. Awesome promotional art on the back with a little bit of the bio right there. So if you want to go ahead and read that, just go ahead and pause. There you go. Just go ahead and pause right there. Okay, other than that, these are the other figures in the line. You have Battle Cat, He-Man, Mossman, regular Skeletor, and Evil Lyn. I only found this at Target today. They did not have any of the other ones on the shelf. You have Skelegod right here on the side. What does it say? Cosmic Lord of Destruction. You have Masterverse up there at the top. 30 points of articulation, barcode right there for whatever reason. More barcode at the bottom, legalese. Enough of that. We say we go ahead and crack this guy open and see how cool he actually is. All right, and here we have Skelegod out of packaging, and my God, this is a beast of a figure. Just from overall initial impressions, I am loving this figure, but I guess we'll see how much I love it once we get into the review. So this is a much bulkier figure. When I saw it there on the shelves, I knew I had to have it. It is starting at $29.99. I believe this is like their deluxe figure, kind of like how Battle Cat is. Their regular base figures, I think, is going to start around like $24.99 if I'm not mistaken. And those are about 7 inches. This one is just a hair shy of 8 inches, even at the tip of these, which is the highest point of him, just a hair shy of 8 inches, but you can go ahead and call him an 8-inch figure. So yeah, he is unfortunately suffering from a bit of a loose joint issue going on here in his ankle, so he may fall over a lot. But before we get too much further into him, we say we take a quick look at his accessories. So obviously he comes with his kind of like two open palm hands, like clawy hands on him out of packaging. Oh, see, there you go. Anyways, then you have his two semi-closed fisted hands, which I assume is to hold the other accessory that he comes with, and this is where it comes into spoiler territories. If you weren't listening in the beginning, it is the power sword, which I'm assuming he gets his hands on in the show and somehow becomes Skelegod, but we won't know until that releases next month. But yeah, it's an okay sword. The sculpting details is very generic. It does look like it has like a shinier paint right here on the outer edges of the blade, more of a dull silver right here towards the middle and down. Then you have this hilt part wrapped, or like not wrapped, painted brown to give off the illusion of like a wrapped leather around the hilt. And then you have this glowing fist effect that you just kind of, I guess, poured it in. It kind of looks like he has a glowing uppercut or whatever, flaming uppercut. And if you want, just go ahead and pull these out and then just put one of the hands in. Oh, the gauntlet is a separate piece. So I have to port that in. Then you can go ahead and slide the power sword in there. And there you have Skelegod holding the power sword, something I never thought I would see personally. Oh, there you go. Give me 1 second. Okay, and taking a closer look at Skelegod, this is an amazing looking figure. So let's start with the head sculpt itself. So you have this very eerie looking face that's just so menacing. If this thing would just focus. There we go. So yeah, I mean, it has a very evil looking grin. The teeth are painted in very nicely, surprisingly. They have like this little black wash going on. I'll try to zoom in for you. There we go. So yeah, his His eyes, I don't know if it's just mine or that's how it's supposed to be. It kind of looks like they just dabbed a white in there, and this side got a lot more white than that side. But like I said, I don't know if that's how he's supposed to look. If his one pupil is supposed to be more like white than the other. I'm sure it's not. That's a weird choice for them to make. But that is something to look out for on these figures. The horn is sculpted in very nicely, kind of like has like this weird texture going on. Almost looks like 3D printed in a way. I really don't know how else to describe this texture, but that is kind of a soft rubbery plastic, so it is kind of pliable, so I guess it doesn't poke any kids. This little U-shaped thing going on right here, sculpted in very nicely. Then you got some clear translucent plastic going around his neck right here. So it's not showing up very well as like translucent, but it is translucent. I assume that's supposed to mimic some like green flames around his neck when it is in the show. But take my word for it, in person it looks very, very nice. Then you got these huge honking shoulder pads that's supposed, I guess, to be a face or something or other, because you got the two eyes going on right there. Very soft plastic once again. You got the H logo on Skeletor, so that's pretty cool. It does kind of go all the way up, but the shoulder pads do cut off a little bit of the top. So you got like the little like purplish outline around the green highlighter green going on right there. Let's see here. So you have the same kind of like design going on his gauntlets as you did his shoulder pads, and these are a separate piece. So for whatever reason you didn't want those on, just take the hand off and those come right off. Let's see here. So you kind of have like this gauntlet detail going on his hand, but no painted in details. I'm not sure if there is supposed to be any paint detail. Take a look at the artwork real quick. So yeah, the artwork doesn't really show anything. So I don't know if these are supposed to be silver. They are coming off silver in the camera, but it's not actually silver. It's just the lighting. It's all just black molded plastic, but it looks really good. Then you got his loincloth right here. Same color scheme going on, black, purple, and the green eyes around his crotch. Then going around to the back, you have the loincloth once again, nice sculpted in details. I don't know if it's black with the purple wash or purple with the black wash. I don't know, but there is the mix of the colors. And then his cape right here is a soft goods cape. Very nice. I love soft good capes myself personally. I'm not a huge fan of the hard plastic ones, so having a soft goods cape on this figure is a huge plus for me. I know there are some people that don't really like soft good capes for whatever reason, but I do. So, and then you got, once again, these skull details going down to his gauntlets, or not his gauntlets, his shin guards right here. So I don't really know how else to explain these. I guess they're skulls. I would assume they're skulls. Then you have the eyes highlighter green as well. Then you got his feet with the same like armor design as his gloves. Once again, no painted in details, just all black molded plastic. Once again, very nice sculpting. So yeah, overall, this is a great looking figure, and I really can't complain about it. Hate to admit it, this is my very first Masters of the Universe figures. I've just never really been into Masters of the Universe. I watched a show here and there. Just never really one of those shows that caught my attention as a kid, but I never disliked it. I just never got into it. But with the new Netflix one coming out, I believe is a direct sequel to the original series that came out way back when. So hopefully Netflix will release a Masters of the Universe, not series, the older episodes, so I can catch up sometime. If not, I guess I'll just start off with the Netflix one. But yeah, once again, sorry, this guy is like super loose joints right here at the ankles. That's kind of annoying seeing how this is a very top-heavy figure. But with that being said, what do you say we go ahead and get into articulation? So one more thing I wanted to know before I get into articulation is that he does have these added plastic diamond things at the bottom of his cape right here. I don't know what they're for, if it's just part of the design or if it's to keep it weighted down, I don't know. But they went the extra mile and gave you some extra plastic right there, so that's a nice touch. And the cape is removable. You just got to kind of slide it up. It has a little hook system that pegs into the back of his, I guess, chest strap, whatever you want to call this. Oops, then you just kind of like hook it in there and it just slides into place. So the cape is removable. So now into the articulation. All right, so getting into articulation, the box states it has 30 points of articulation. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what it has. So first off, you have a ball jointed head rotation. We'll do full 360. Rock side to side. We'll look up about that far, not very far. Look down, not too bad. It does have like a separate joint going at the base of the neck, so we'll like go kind of forwards and backwards if you want that motion right there. Then you have the ball jointed shoulders. It'll go up, would go up all the way, but is hindered a little bit by the shoulder pads. You have an upper bicep swivel. We'll do full 360. Double jointed elbows, but is hindered quite a bit by the gauntlets going on here. Wrist rotation will rotate full 360. This will hinge in about that far. Hinge out not very far, depending on which way you have the gauntlets. So that's about it. Upper torso swivel. Oh, no, not swivel. I'm sorry. Upper torso bend. So we'll rock side to side. Will not do 360. Do an ab crunch about that far. Not very far at all. Even less backwards. You have a lower ab waist swivel. So we'll do full 360 there. But to get an ab crunch on this guy, it's not very well. That's about all you can do right there. You have ball jointed hips. We'll do the splits about that far. Not too bad for a bigger dude. Upper thigh swivel, we'll do full 360. We'll kick out about that far. Not too far. Does not move backwards. Double jointed knees. There you go. Let's see. Then you have a boot cuff swivel. And ankles forwards, backwards, side to side, peg holes at the bottom. So yeah, not too bad. I do wish he had a little bit more of a ab crunch going on, but overall, not too bad. A decent amount of articulation for a bigger figure for sure. I know with Hasbro, a lot of their bigger figures, they tend to cheap out on the articulation. Single jointed elbows, the shoulders or whatever don't move as far. But to get double jointed elbows on a figure this size, I mean, he's not like a huge bulky figure like Thanos or anything by any means. He is more of a Colossus size figure, just a tad bit bigger. But the ab crunch missing is kind of a little negative for me, but overall, great articulation. So let's go ahead and get into some size comparisons. So as I had mentioned before, this is my very first Masters of the Universe figure, so I don't have any other figures to compare him to, unfortunately. But what I do have here is a 6-inch Marvel Legends figures. As I stated in the beginning of this video, this is a 7-inch scale line, with Skelegod being 8 inches. I think Wolverine's a little bit shy of like 5 or like 6 something, so that's how he compares to Wolverine. Not too bad if you wanted a menacing figure fighting X-Men. Next up, we'll have him next to a more standard 6-inch Marvel Legends figure, so that is about the size they stand up to Skelegod. Then, just because I have him out here on my desk, here he is next to the Kingdom Beast Wars Megatron. Alright, so final thoughts on this figure is that I am loving it overall. It definitely has some flaws, in mine at least, with the loose ankles, and that is such a shame because he is a very top-heavy figure. I definitely can already predict that this guy is not going to stay standing on my shelf, so hopefully I can get like some kind of throne that he can sit in. I don't know, I'll find something. Once again, I am not into Masters of the Universe hardcore, but with this line, I'm probably going to start picking them up. I am loving this figure. Hopefully I can start finding more soon. I think the official release date is tomorrow, depending on when you watch this video. If you're watching it of the day of release, I think the official release date for these toys are tomorrow, but the Target I found this at went ahead and let me buy it. They didn't seem to like stop me at the street date. So I had no issues there, but honestly, by time, once again, you find this video, it'll probably be able to purchase no problems if there is a street day code at your Target. Yeah, I'll leave the DPCI down below so you can look it up to see if your local Target has it. And until next time, guys, later.